Bright QT. Every student matters.
Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with Unit 10 of Class 12 Education Nagaland Board. The chapter that we are going to study in this lecture is Habits. Now, in this unit, we are going to learn about the concept of habit. What are the characteristics of habit? What are the advantages as well as disadvantages of habit formation? How do we differentiate between a good habit and a bad habit? And what are the ways in which we can break a bad habit? Now, first, I am going to focus on the meaning of habit, the habit in psychology basically, and the characteristics of habit. So, habit, as we all know, is something that we come across every day. Whatever we do regularly in our life, whatever we think regularly, is nothing but a habit. So, something which is learned, not something which is innate in us. Something which happens or something which is developed because of repeatedness is what is known as habit. Going to a walk, going to the park for a morning walk is habit. It is not innate in us. A child who's born does not learn it inside the mother's womb. It is after repeated practice that comes. Praying to God every evening is again a part of habit. The way in which you eat is a part of your habit. The way in which you sleep is a part of your habit. The way you speak is a part of your habit. And a habit is always formed because of repetition and because of reinforcement techniques. We in the unit of learning have learned at length about reinforcement and how reinforcement can both be positive as well as negative. Positive reinforcers add one to do something at a better pace, while in connection to negative reinforcers, once those negative reinforcers are taken away, the learning gets better. Okay. So habit is something which is not biological in nature. It is not hereditary in nature. Rather, it is formed. It is deliberate. It happens because of repeated practice. So habit is something that can be seen in both man as well as an animal. We acquire it. We get it. We learn it. Whatever activities we get ourselves involved into, those activities, if they are repeated every day, if we like to do something, we would obviously want to repeat it. And if we don't like to do anything, we just disuse that. So things which are repeated by us because we like it become a part of our habit. These habits can be good as well as bad. If we get into a habit of drinking, we like drinking alcohol, we'll develop a bad habit. We like to drink water, we drink more and more water during the day. That is a good habit. So it is based on your likeness as well as your repetition that your habit is formed and it is developed. Now let us look at some of the definitions of habit. According to Garrett, habit is the name which is given to a behavior that is repeated. And it is repeated so often that it becomes automatic in nature. After a point of time, you do not even have to take any special efforts to do that. It becomes automatic in nature. According to James, habit is the second nature of a man. First is something that is biological in you, and the habit that is formed by you on your own is second nature of a man. According to Rayburn, habitual action is the result of many repetitions of the act. Those acts which are done, which are continued in the same way, they add to your habit. It is done consciously. Habits are formed when you do something using your brain, it is not something that happens to you. No, some things that you do on your own, on the basis of how you perform, the basis of the speed that you use to do something. There are a few behaviorists who define habit as instincts motive man for a specific experience. When a man is inclined towards behaving in a specific manner, when a man is forced to act in a manner in which he or she wants to, that again leads to habit. And similarly, habits can also make one get restless and can lead one to some past experiences as well as some bad things also. So basically, these definitions that we have learned about habits are a product, are, the after effect of your experiences and of your practice. And when some action is repeated several times, almost in the same manner, and let's say even the same time of the day, one does not even need to do it. It automatically happens to you. It becomes effortless, it becomes smooth, it becomes creamy. It is a a reflex action that takes place. Somebody who used to wake up late, and then she decided that she's going to now wake up at 6, go for a walk, and just exercise in the morning for an hour. In the beginning, what happened for the first 10 days, 15 days, let's say a month, it was very difficult and you had to push yourself to wake up early. But after a month, your body had set itself according to the new clock, and you would wake up automatically. Even on Sundays, you wake up early. So earlier, at first, it is an action which is done by you on purpose, which is done out of effort. But once it is repeated for a longer duration, it becomes a reflex action. And this is what is known as a habit. Now let us discuss some of the characteristics of habit. The first characteristic of habit is its uniformity. Uniformity means that those tasks which are performed by us every day at the same time in the same manner become our habit. It can be the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we sleep, the way or the time we wake up, what we eat, how we eat, everything and anything that is done by us regularly at the same time in the same manner is a part of our habit. The second characteristic of habit is ease and facility. Once you have developed a habit, as I just gave you the example of a girl who found it very difficult to wake up early in the morning. So earlier it was hard, you had to set alarm, there were multiple snoozes that you would do to wake up early, but after a period of time it became very easy, it became very smooth, and it became a part of your reflex. You did not have to make any efforts, you did not have to push your body out of bed every morning. Rather, it took place automatically, it took place with ease and comfort. So when something is habitual, it becomes a parcel of life and can take place very easily. The next characteristic of habit is interest. One will always get into a habit, develop a habit which is interesting to one. If I start doing something that I don't want to do, I am forced to do, I will never be able to develop a habit for that. But if I want to do something, but I'm just feeling lazy, laid back, and lethargy is stopping me from doing that, once I push myself, in the initial days, at the beginning, gradually, my interest towards that activity would lead me closer to it. And as we discussed above, I'd be able to do it with utmost ease and comfort. The next characteristic of habit is reducing the need of paying attention. Once a habit is formed, you will not have to pay attention to it. You will not have to worry about it. We have all seen our grandmothers. When they are knitting, they are not even looking at that. They can watch the television and can simultaneously knit. Somebody who's good at chopping, we've seen these chefs whose videos are uploaded on YouTube and the various channels. They are so good at chopping that even with chopping, they can look at the camera and talk to you. That does not need them to pay attention to what they are doing. Somebody who's learned to play an instrument. First, you will look at the keys on a piano or a harmonium, but once you've learned that, you don't even have to look at it and can play it very well. So, with habit, the need for you to pay attention to it is going to get reduced. The next characteristic of habit is diminishing fatigue. Fatigue means tiredness. If you are interested in something and that interest has been transformed into a habit, then obviously whatever tiredness you experienced earlier is going to go away. Why? Because it will, as I told you, this is the term that will define habit. It is going to become a part of your reflex action. You're going to feel so easy and happy and comfortable doing it that you can do it for hours and hours. That is why when somebody learns to cook at first, they find it very difficult to stand in the kitchen and to cook. And they start feeling hot and then they keep on popping in and out of the kitchen every 2 minutes. But once you get used to it, you can stand in the kitchen for the entire day and can do things because you want to and you've developed a habit of doing the same. Next is the resistance to modification. Modification means changes. Now, once you have formed a habit, there is a very strong tendency of resistance or change or modification. Once a habit has been formed, that habit can be good or bad. You will not be able to give it up easily. If you've learned to wake up early in the morning, even during your vacations when you would not want to wake up, you will because of the habit. Similarly, somebody who's got addicted to drinking or smoking will find it extremely hard to give that up, no matter how hard and how desperately they want it to. And the last characteristic of habit is that habits are useful as well as harmful in nature. Habits can be divided into two groups. We all know a habit can be a good habit, it can be a bad habit as well. Good habits such as speaking the truth, punctuality, honesty, respecting the elders, washing your hands, keeping yourself hygienic and clean. These are all good habits and are useful for ourselves and for our well-being. On the other hand, bad habits like gambling, smoking, telling lies, fighting, abusing, these are bad habits which are not only harmful for yourself but for the society as well. So, my dear students, we know now what is a habit. We know what are the characteristics of habit. So, I'm going to pause here and in my next lecture, I'm going to discuss the role that habit plays in our life. So, I'm going to pause here and we'll see you all now in my next lecture.